Good afternoon, folks. How y'all doing today? If you've been watching the videos, you've seen that I did a DIY stakeout pole. And we put together this stakeout pole out of just some stuff we picked up out at the home improvement store. You also may have noticed I upgraded kayaks. Now, my stakeout pole works real well. I like the way it works, but I'm not real happy with the holder on the new kayak for the stakeout pole. And I'm not real happy with the holder on the new kayak for the paddle. So what we're doing today is we're going to make some brackets to go on the new kayak to hold the paddle in place and to hold the stakeout pole. Now, this kayak, the new kayak, it has no access to the inside of the hull, but it does have a track system on it. So I've got to mount my brackets for my paddle and my stakeout pole to the track system. That's probably going to be temporary. I've got some hatches ordered. I'm going to put on it behind the seat. I've got an area where I can put hatches so I can access the inside of this hull. Don't know what I'm going to do about the front yet, but I'll be able to get to the back, and I'll probably rebuild those back brackets because they're so darn long the way they are, and mount them straight to the kayak like I did my other kayak. So what I've got is a piece of 3-inch PVC. A little bit thick. I mean, if you're mounting straight to your kayak and not to a track system, you don't need anything this big. But because I'm having to mount to a track system, on the back I need probably 7.5, 8 inches. And 3-inch PVC will give me just a little over 9 inches. So I had to use a 3-inch on the back. And on the front, I'm probably using close to 6, maybe a little over 6 inches. So once again, I'm having to use 3-inch PVC. Now what we're going to do, I went and cut a slice off of it, a ring about 2 inches wide. And then as you can see, I cut a slot in it. I just split it right up the side. Now we're going to take this PVC, we're going to put it in a microwave, and we're going to warm it up, and we're going to get it nice and pliable. Once we get it good and pliable, we're going to press it between a couple of boards with a C-clamp and flatten it out. So we got a flat piece of PVC to start working on. Microwave sitting here, I just scarfed up from a friend that was getting a better microwave. And it's not an expensive microwave. It's not a high-powered microwave. But we're gonna, like I said, I just scarfed it up for projects. So we're gonna put this PVC ring in there. We're gonna warm it up, get it pliable. You gotta take your time with this stuff. If you don't take your time with this and just try and heat it all up at one time, you're gonna blister it, and then it's gonna burn and discolor. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in here. On our first one, on our first warm-up, we're going to put it in here for 2 minutes. Sounds like the dish isn't straight. On our first warm-up, we're going to put it in here for 2 minutes. And then we'll take it out, we'll work it a little bit, and we'll put it back in for another minute. We'll take it out, we'll work it again, we'll put it back in. This could take anywhere from 5 to 6 minutes. Just don't get in a hurry. Like I said, if you get in a hurry, try and do it too fast, you'll blister the PVC, and then you'll discolor the PVC. So right now, we're just going to get it flat. Let's get it warmed up. Get working with it. get it flat. Alright guys, first time out. It's warm. It's not going to move much, but it's warm. But it does move a lot easier than it did. We're going to put it back in. We're going to warm it up some more. It'll probably close up, but we're taking our time. Put it in for another minute. Second time out. As you can see, it closed back up some. Guys, you gotta have some kind of protection because this gets warm. Ideally, you should be wearing gloves. But it moves a lot easier now. It's getting there. It's getting pliable. Nowhere near pliable enough yet, but it's getting pretty pliable. One more time. Back in for another minute. Third time. As you can see, it closed back up again. Went a little quick, it's got a little bitty blister in it. It's not quite warmed up. This end here isn't warmed up enough yet. It's not pliable enough. I mean, it's moving, but it's still pretty stiff. A couple of spots are still stiff. So we're going to put it back in maybe 45 seconds. Now let's give it another shot. That's pretty darn pliable. See about this end. Yeah, it's getting there too. So I'm probably going to give it maybe another 30 seconds or so. And we'll stick it under the board. Flatten it out. And I'm going to go ahead and move the camera over so you can see what's going on with the board. So we can flatten it out. Alright, we got to heat it up. We're going to flatten it out some. Whew. It's warm. We're going to stick it on this board. And what we're going to do, we're going to take this board and put on top of it. We're going to take this C-clamp, put on here and tighten it down. And then we're going to let it sit here and cool off. Once it cools off, we'll pull out a straight flat piece of PVC. And then we can start working with it. We can start mounting it to the kayak and shaping it to the side of the kayak. So I'll be back in a little bit. Our PVC should be cooled down by now. So we're going to go ahead and get it out. Little bend to it, but it came out nice and flat. Paddle holder on this kayak is just a little lip. That's all it is. And the paddle sits right here, and it's held on by this strap. Well, it always seems when you're loading and unloading that you bump something. Paddle slips off of that little lip, digs down in the dirt, gets hung up in the bushes, you know, dragging on the ground. I hate that. I hate that. So we're going to put these brackets on. We're going to mount these brackets so that paddle lays right here, real nice and even, and then sets in the paddle brackets too at the same time. We're also going to make the paddle brackets just a tad tight, so the paddle, when you put it in there, will click down in it and it'll lock in. So let's get started. When I bought this kayak, it had Yak Attack accessories, rod holders, paddle holders, cup holders, a bunch of different accessories. These tracks, which I don't know what brand they are, I assume came with the kayak when it was new. They are wider than Yak Attack. And Yak Attack track bolts do not work with these tracks. So I had to make some new track bolts. Wasn't a big deal. I got some made. Wasn't a big deal. So what we're going to do now, we're going to drill a hole into this PVC. We're going to drop in about 1.5 inches, and we're going to drill a hole in it. The bolts I made are 1/4 20. So I believe this drill bit's like 9/32, just barely bigger than a 1/4 inch. And we're going to get a hole in here so we can mount it, and then we'll start forming it to the shape of the side of the kayak. Not real picky right now on this hole. Just going to get it mounted in. Once we get this mounted to the kayak, we get it shaped the way we want it, I'll take it back out the back, hit it on the grinder, and clean it up, round the edges off, probably take a little bit of this off of it, but we'll clean it all up. So let's get it mounted. And we're going to start bending it around, shaping it to be the same shape as the side of the kayak. What we're going to do this with is a hairdryer. Now you can do this with a heat gun, I don't have a heat gun, so I'm doing it with a hairdryer. Takes a while to do it, guys, but it works. All we're going to do is heat it up with a hairdryer. One thing I forgot. Alright guys, we got our PVC, got it flattened out, we drilled it, we got it mounted to the kayak about where we're going to want it. What we're going to do now is we're going to start heating it up, bending it around, shape it to the side of the kayak and bring it down. And we're going to loop it back around and make a little hook for the paddle to set in. We're going to do this with a hairdryer. You can do it with a heat gun. Heat gun will go a little bit quicker. I don't own a heat gun, so I'm going to do it with a hairdryer. It works, it just takes a little longer. One other thing I've got, a little thin piece of plastic. I cut this out of the top of a storage bin. We used the storage bin years ago, never used the top. So I cut it out of the top of the storage bin, and I'm gonna put it on up under this bracket, between the bracket and the kayak, to protect my kayak from the heat. And we're just gonna slide it up in here like this. And that's going to help protect my kayak while I'm heating the PVC. When you think you got it warmed up enough to be able to work with, just put a little pressure on it, just a little bit. Test it. It'll start moving. Just a little bit of pressure. Get it down where you think you want it. Take the heat off. Hold it there. Let it cool down. Now this is going to give a little bit. It's going to come back up from the kayak, and I don't want it to do that. So we'll do a little tweaking on it right quick once it cools down some. See how it gives just a little bit. Once I take this plastic out, it'll give a little bit more. And I don't want it to do that. So what I'm going to do, got a little thin piece of aluminum here. I'll stick this up under it so I can get just a tad more bend in it. Put our plastic back in here. I can get just a tad more bend out of it. Got it bent just a tad more. We're going to hold on to it and let it sit here and cool down. Hopefully when I take the plastic and the little aluminum shim out of there and I tighten it up, it'll set tight against the kayak. Alright, it's cooled down. I'm going to tighten it down. And it fits tight against the side of the kayak. Molded in pretty good, as you can see. Or I hope you can see. Molded pretty good to the side of the kayak. It fits pretty good. And what we're going to do is start bringing this up. Make our little hook. We'll bend it out. Leave a little lip on it. So you don't have to be exact with the paddle. It'll have that little lip. It'll click right down in there and lock it in. Our next step will be to put our paddle in here and start forming this around the paddle. I've already done the back mount. It's already in there. You heard it click into that mount. I'm going to strap it down. And we're going to start forming. Alright, we got our paddle in. We got our plastic protector in there. We're going to start heating this up. Pulling it around. Molding it to fit the paddle. We got it around there, got it around the paddle. We're just going to sit here and hold it. Let it cool down. And I bent it far enough that I'm over the top of the paddle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this top and bend it back so it'll have a little hook with a little lip on it. And I'll make it just tight enough when you put the paddle down there, it'll click in and lock in it. It won't come out, you know, just fall out. You have to take it out. So as soon as this cools down a little bit more, we'll start doing that. Lip's about right. I think it's going to be a tad tight. Actually, it's not that tight. Clicks right in there. So that's going to work pretty good. Clicks in there nice and easy. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take it out back. I'll cut this off about right here. Round all the corners off. Make it look a little better. Get these wing nuts off because this wing nut's going to get hot, especially if it's in the Florida sun. As you can see, the back one's molded in nice and tight, molded into the kayak. It fits nice and level on our paddle holder, and it fits in up front. Going to work out real nice. It clicks in. Clicks there. Locks in. Takes a little bit. Might need to tweak that one just a tad. But we're going to be good just like that. Alright guys. Paddle holder's in. We got the holders for the stakeout pole. And it's the same way as far as being just a tad tight. So it clicks down in there. See the little lip? You see it sits nice and flat on that original lip. It sits nice and flat on that original lip. Now like I said, I had to use the tracks to mount these two. Not real happy about that. But let's go look at the old kayak. If you can access the inside of your kayak, like this one's got an opening there so I can access the back of it. And this is probably, I don't know, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches PVC. 2 stainless steel bolts. On the inside there is a plastic washer, a stainless steel flat washer, and a stainless steel lock nut. Nylon inserted lock nut. You want that plastic washer in there. The reason you want that plastic washer in there is because if it ever gets loose or any movement in it, it will rub against the inside of your kayak. You don't want that stainless steel washer rubbing against the inside of your kayak. So we put the plastic washer in there, put a lock nut on it. Probably will never get loose, and you don't have to worry about it. Paddle holder on this one, they're just like the other ones, they're just a tad tight. The paddle locks down in it. It stays in place real well. Alright guys, there you have it. DIY paddle brackets, DIY stakeout poles. What did we use? Well, I cut the PVC on a bandsaw. Do you have to have a bandsaw? No, you just got to have a saw to cut the PVC with. We used an old microwave somebody was throwing away to heat up the PVC. We used a piece of plastic, a little thin plastic, to protect the side of the kayak while I was heating the PVC, while the PVC was bolted up to the kayak. I used a little aluminum shim, go up under it, just so I could get a little more bend out of it. Drill to drill the hole. Grinder to clean up the edges. We got her all mounted up. She's ready to go. So hopefully, if you guys need paddle brackets, hopefully this helps you out. If you need stakeout pole brackets, hopefully this will help you out. If you got a track system, you can do it like this. If you have access and you want to bolt them straight through to your kayak, if you got access to the inside, bolt them up. Use a plastic washer, stainless steel washer, stainless steel lock nut, stainless steel bolts, and you won't have any problem. The paddle brackets on my other kayak, they've been on there almost a year. They've never even gotten loose. They work real well. And being down on the side of the kayak like it is some of the creeks I fish in, with the low overhanging trees, I'll take a paddle, or I'll take a rod and I'll put the reel down here, the tip coming out this way. I'll take another rod and the reel down here, the tip going that way. I'll take my little paddle strap, put across them, and hold them in place. That way they're not sticking straight up in the darn air, getting tangled in all the trees. They make a real good rod holder sometimes. Not that I can fish with them, but just to get them out of the trees and out of the way. Just gotta be a little careful with your paddle so you don't hit an eye. But they work real well for that if you need it. So like I said, hopefully this helps you out if you need some kind of brackets. Hopefully this will help you out if you need other things made and you can use PVC to do it. This is a way to flatten and bend PVC and make it the shape you want. A lot of uses for PVC. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. It's getting really, really hot. I want to get out of this sun. So I'm going to end it here. Like I said, I hope it helps you out. And y'all take care. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. By the way, little PS. If there's something else you want to see, do you want a particular lure that you want to learn how to use? Write it in the comments and let me know. If I don't have that lure, I'll go get that lure. I'll go get it, work with it, figure it out. We'll go out and see if we can catch some fish with it. If you want to see the hatch install, I'm going to put the access hatch on here. If you want to see that, put it in the comments. Let me know. You know, it doesn't matter. If there's something you want to see, if it's something I can do, put it in the kayak, or put it in the comments. Guys, if, like I said, if there's something you want to see, something you want to learn about, something I can help you guys out with, if I can do it, I will. Whatever it is, stick it down in the comments and we'll work on it. So once again, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.